The multiplication of the loaves, the science of love that nourishes matter and spirit. Kardec explains that Jesus, in multiplying the loaves, did not create matter from nothing, because nothing in the universe is created outside of divine laws. What he did was act upon the universal fluid, the invisible matrix of all substances, accelerating the natural process of condensation and formation of elements. Matter was not produced miraculously, but reorganized under the impulse of the divine will that Christ represented. Modern physics confirms that all matter is condensed energy. The underlying quantum field contains infinite potential for forms and combinations, the ocean of possibilities from which particles emerge. Jesus, in a state of pure consciousness and united with God, accessed this primitive energy field directly, shaping matter through the vibration of his will. Thus, food emerged as a physical manifestation of a higher vibrational order. The physics of coherence teaches that systems in harmony resonate and multiply in energy and form. At that moment, Jesus radiated a vibration of abundance and universal love, which was transmitted to the crowd. The higher spirits assisting him channeled the same fluids, and the collective energy of faith and gratitude condensed into visible matter. The multiplication of the loaves was not just a physical phenomenon, but a collective spiritual co-creation. Kardec reminds us that Jesus did not seek to amaze through the materiality of the act, but to teach the moral lesson of sharing. The bread symbolizes the food of the soul, and its multiplication represents the power of love that divides without diminishing and multiplies when shared. Christ showed that true sustenance is not in matter, but in the spirit that enlivens it. The neuroscience of faith shows that feelings of gratitude and collective communion activate brain circuits that release serotonin and oxytocin, creating states of well-being and cooperation. This mental and emotional harmony fosters energetic synchronicity among people, enhancing the spiritual vibration of the group. In the hands of Jesus, this energy found the perfect channel, and the universal fluid responded to his will, generating the nourishment that was lacking. Energetic biology shows that all organic matter is sustained by force fields that respond to intention and vibrational coherence. When a pure spirit like Jesus acts on these fields, he can reorganize elemental substances, attracting particles and molecules from the environment and structuring them into living and nutritious forms. The multiplication of the loaves was, therefore, a phenomenon of creative magnetism, governed by the same laws that we study today under the lens of energy and information. Quantum physics of information teaches that the universe is an immense intelligent system, where each particle responds to the consciousness that observes it. Jesus, with his divine consciousness, did not ask. He determined with love. His will was law because it vibrated in unity with the creative source. He demonstrated, before men, that faith is a real physical force capable of acting upon the visible world. The spiritual symbolism of the multiplication of the loaves is profound. The bread represents knowledge and love, which nourish the spirit. The act of breaking and distributing symbolizes the brotherhood that multiplies abundance. The basket that never empties shows that charity is the only inexhaustible wealth. Jesus taught in vivid language that the more one gives, the more one has, because the energy of love is expansive and the universe responds in harmony. Transpersonal psychology interprets the phenomenon as an expression of Christic consciousness, the state in which the being recognizes its unity with the whole. At this level, matter becomes an extension of loving will. Time and space cease to be barriers. Jesus lived in this state permanently, and therefore nature became docile to his presence. Kardec clarifies that the multiplication of the loaves, like the other deeds of Christ, was not a spectacle but a spiritual lesson. The Master did not seek to prove power, but rather to show the power of good. Superior spirits can act upon matter when necessary, but always under the direction of divine will, and only for the collective good. The multiplication symbolizes the abundance of providence and the universal solidarity that sustains the worlds. Contemporary science is beginning to understand that mental energy influences physical reality, a truth that Jesus applied with divine naturalness. Matter is merely the visible face of the Spirit. Abundance is the reflection of love. When human beings learn to live in harmony with the laws of the Spirit, there will be no more hunger, because love will multiply everything that is necessary. Understanding the multiplication of the loaves is understanding that abundance is a state of consciousness. Those who trust in God and serve their neighbor will never know scarcity, because the universe responds to the vibration of faith and charity. If this reflection has brought you light and hope, share it. Because understanding the multiplication of the loaves is recognizing that love is the divine bread that satisfies all the hungers of the soul.